and welcome to the week 1 of the second season of the AEFL, guys. And what a week it was, with some big points and, in bonus case, some low points. Let's get into it real quick. I beat Dustin, the Grand Slam breakfast squad, 140 to 121. Team Minivan lost to Newton's Law, 137 to 118. Find a Black and Decker. Trevor, I know you didn't make that team name up yourself. Let's be a little bit more original, but you get the win there with 140 to 93 over Brandon. Brandon, not going to acknowledge your team name, so BFE Baltimus, Altimus, whatever it is, that's what I'm going to go with. The former Child Stars gets back to his winning ways from last year, beating Helmet to Helmet Contact 119 to 108. And then Inglorious Bastards beating Old Smuggler 140 to 100. And then Liquor in the front, Poker in the back, taking the high score of the week with 171 points to Boner's 89 points. Jared, yet again, it seems like you get lucky enough where week in, week out, you're always playing the team with the lowest points. I'm not going to deal with that bullshit again. And pretty sure, looking at everything, who the fuck did your draft? Because I know you didn't do it. There's no fucking way. But anyways, congrats, you got the highest points for the week. Going into the games a little bit, like I said, I beat Dustin 140 to 121. I had big points from Ray Rice. Reggie Bush was a nice surprise, almost 100 yards rushing and receiving. Then Amendola was lucky enough to come back from an injury. Dustin, you had a few guys with low points there. You had Chris Ivory and Fleener, all with like just 1 point, and Marshawn Lynch, surprisingly only 6 points. And then, but you do have Andre Brown, who's going to be back week 7 or week 8 after breaking his leg. He'll take David Wilson's place, as Coach Tom Coughlin's already put him on watch. Newton's Law over Team Minivan. Yates there had big points from his wide receivers, AJ Green and Victor Cruz. It'll be interesting if you can get that many points week in and week out from your wide receivers, as you're going to have to make it up for your running backs. Edwards had a tough game with Jones not scoring any points. You got to figure that some of those points are going to go to Randall Cobb this year. And the Packers' defense didn't score as much. But then again, tough opening game for the Packers playing the 49ers. I think the Packers' D is going to be just fine. Trevor, couldn't get more luckier with Peyton Manning just going off for 7 TDs. I don't think he's going to do that every week. But regardless, you just got to watch out for your wide receiver points. Roddy White was kind of hurt, so I think that brought down his wide receiver points. And then it looks like Vernon Davis is going to be a hell of a pick this year. They mentioned end of last year he didn't get very many points with Kaepernick, but already that first game put up big points. Then Ultimus, you're starting Rob Gronkowski. He's hurt. Why is he in your starting lineup? And then Monte Balls, we're all expecting him to start, yet Noshawn Marino got most of the carries, and even Hillman got a few of the carries. But, I mean, you did have big points on your bench, so I think you'll rebound this week and be just fine. Then you had the former Child Stars over helmet-to-helmet contact. With Barr, you have David Wilson, who I mentioned, is now put on watch if he can't carry the ball well enough, as well as hold on to it. And then you got lucky enough that Noshawn Marino is playing as much as he is, and you have him as one of your running backs. And then you had Sproles on the bench, which I kind of found interesting now that Drew Brees is back with, Sean Payton. So I looked at him to actually get a little bit more points this year compared to last year. Then with Will, might want to start thinking about some Michael Vick trade bait before he gets injured. With that Chip Kelly's offense, he's going to be putting up big points, and you already got yourself a pretty decent quarterback starting. I think it's, off the top of my head, Matt Ryan. So you're going to have to figure out week by week which one you're going to start. Maybe use one for trade bait, as it looks like, I believe, is the wide receivers that you kind of scored low on. Just something to think about, but you only lost by 11 points. Be just fine for the rest of the year. Tanner, though, I will say, the fucking bastard picked up Thomas at the tight end spot before the game, but set him on his bench. Regardless, he played Ben, who ended up was the second highest scorer. There's 3 of us that put up 140 points, but you take away the fact that he played one of the higher scoring teams, and you start Thomas instead of having him on the bench. And then the fact that Calvin Johnson, I think, had 2 touchdowns taken away, along with Stafford having those 2 touchdowns taken away. I think it's going to be just fine. You got right there points. Say those 2 guys get those touchdowns, you might even have a chance of beating Ben this week. And then Ben's part, big points from everybody but your tight end. And then you fucking look on your bench, and who's the biggest points scorer on your bench is your tight end. And you got lucky enough that Stephen Wrigley on Tanner's team fumbled, didn't play the rest of the game, and then Vereen took over it and had a monster game only to break his hand and be out for the next few weeks. So Tanner might have had the bad luck in the short term, but then the Shane Vereen thing looks like it's going to hurt you. And Victor with the big points of the week with 171 points. I'm going to say it again. Who the fuck did you draft? Because compared to last year's team, I don't know whether you just get better when you're drunk or what, but it's a hell of a team. You put up most of the points, or more points than anyone in the league, but like I said, also faced the team with the lowest. I think overall, I mean, fuck, dude. You have Adrian Peterson, and I can't remember the rest of your team off the top of my head, but I mean, fuck. It's going to probably be one of the better teams in the league. And then Boner, yeah, your first 4 top players score up most of your points in the 20s, and all of a sudden they just dip below to single digits. I know you actually have a lot of running backs, and you had to do the auto draft, so I know some guys that might need some running backs, and you might need some more wide receiver depth. Might start thinking about some trades. Also, last year we did Justin Yates hard hit of the week, and Justin Yates, bad break of the week or something like that. Now, for this year, I need something new, some new fresh material, so if you guys got any ideas, let me know. But just going into last year, I would say the bad break of the week goes to Tanner, that he gets Thomas off the waiver wire, has him on the bench. Calvin Johnson has 2 touchdowns taken away, along with Stafford, and then Wrigley fumbles and comes out the rest of the game. And then the dumb move of the week, I really don't have one yet. I mean, Brandon starting an injured player, maybe, and his team name. So with that said, Brandon, he'll get it for this week. Next week, it looks like I will be playing, as soon as it loads here, Team Minivan. It's Newton Law and BFE Baltimus. Then Final Black and Decker versus the Graham Slam Breakfast Squad. Old Smuggler versus Liquor in front, Poker in the back. And then Helmet to Helmet Contact versus the Raging Boners. And Inglorious Bastards over former Child Stars. Looks to be an interesting week. We'll see if Victor gets lucky again. In his case, more than likely, because that's how things seem to go. But until then, guys, I will see you next week. And hit me up with some fresh material. Like I said, we got to get better. I'll talk to you then. See ya.